Thank you so much, Sina. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Lila, and thank you for the nice introduction, and also about the Gaia protection introduction. I love your work, and I also want to welcome Christian. He's also part of Menschen, and we're doing that together with a bunch of more people, but they're not here right now. But so we are, we are an organization that was based on students actually, and now as we all grow older, some of us are finally working, but it's still like a very student-based organization. So everybody who works there works completely voluntary. So our organization is called Menschen, Kindern, eine Zukunft, geben, which means like the hand of the human and give children a future. And I know that Caro, she's the founder of the organization, was herself in India and just saw how, what was going on there, how many, for like in her case, it was especially children that were like not as like sustained as she would like to see them. And she thought that there are so many more opportunities and support for these children. So that is also the question, like, what would you do if you would see children not being supported as they should be in like our, like as people or parents would like to see children supported. And that's what also like, moved her a lot. So that's how she started like a very small first organization, which took care of one project in Spada. So that was at the beginning of the whole thing. And then it turned out to just grow bigger and bigger, and friends helped her out a lot, and the organization grew, and that's how it all started. Exactly, like, so she was sure she wanted to create a change, and that's how Menschen was founded. We are founded back in Bamberg, actually. There's also still a very cool student group working on that. So whenever, if anybody of you is in Bamberg and wants to make a little change, you can always reach out to them. And so at the beginning, it was a lot about student, like voluntary stuff to organize. So there was also just like parties or like donation runs or anything like that to raise money for the project in India. And it grew bigger and bigger after the time. So we got like more professional. And then, for example, we worked with institutions that gave us like bigger donations, or we decided to build a school in India. So there were more people that actually donated bigger amounts of money. So it started with a small group and with like small sponsorships, which is what we do. We work with sponsorships a lot. So there's like one person that takes care of one child, for example, like financially. And so that's how we can support a lot of children. But then with the bigger donations, as from the institutions, for example, we were also able to build a school. And that's what we're like, what is our main focus on that is in India. So we have like India and Kenya. And India is like very education focused and just like healthcare, aid care, everything like food, everything that a human person needs, and that all the education that brings them further. So for us, it's really important to not just see like the normal, you gotta go to school and you gotta do that, but like really see the possibilities. So if you can get that education, you're free to be on your own legs. I said it in German at the end. So yeah, a very, very important point for us is to be self-sustainable at the end, so that the children are actually growing up as mature people and with a job or with like future possibilities. to work in at the end. So we have like 4 projects in India, which are located in Suya, Trichy, Guntur, and Tenali. And Suya is, for example, there's the Sandeep Special School. It's a school for people or children with disabilities, like mentally and physical disabilities. And we work with the Sadashivs. These are the project partners you can see on the right side. And they're like the founders of the whole foundation. And then Karu got to know them and like told them that she would support them. And then the Hunters Menschen also included the project in their in our organization. So since then we support that project. And it was a school, or it is a school for children with disabilities. And what we thought, because they were renting their house, is that it would be nice to actually have our own school for them. And what we initially thought as well would be that it would be nice to have like a place to stay as well, because children in India with disabilities are still sometimes very like not supported or like seen, more like hidden often, or in that case, it could be also because many of the parents are working and like working not in at home, like on the field outside during the day. So there's actually nobody taking care of them. So that's why we had the idea all together, or the Sadashivs, to actually build a school with also with a place for them to stay. Kristin, you were there. You want to say 2 words about how it is there?
Yeah, I mean, it just came to my mind what you said in the beginning. For disabled people in India, it's really like I couldn't believe when I saw this, like the parents of the children, they really have to be you have to go there and ask them if it's okay for them that the disabled children gets an education, and they really don't understand why we are investing for them. In this Indian culture, the people don't, or most of the people I saw there don't see a sense in giving education to the disabled children. For example, we made some pictures with the families, and there were some parents which really pushed their children out of the picture. They didn't want them to be on the picture, and so really it's really hard to understand this. But yeah, in the end, some parents even ask what they get if we bring the children to the school. So what they get from us if they lend us their children, and that really, yeah, it's a strange situation. But Sadashiv and his wife are really good people. They have different social project there, and yeah, so the school is almost finished, and yeah, we are looking forward in maybe this year after Corona we can celebrate the opening of the school.
Would you say that the school, for example, changed a lot of the thoughts also in people's head, maybe like that, about the perception on children with disabilities?
Can you rephrase the question? I didn't get your point.
Yeah, just if you feel like that, as the Sadashivs do the work there and they have the school and they work on the perception of children with disabilities, that this also changed in like the image of children with disabilities in the head of the parents a little bit, or do you think it's like just culturally completely?
Yeah, I only was there once with the families of the children, so maybe I have to go there again, maybe with you, Sina, and we can have a look if this ability changed. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kristin. So we did also, thank you. We did also decide to build that school in that area for the Sandeep Special School, which is one of our biggest projects I think we have done with another house we have built that I will show you later. And it's funny because I will show you the progress. It was supposed to be, so what we thought it would be and that how it turned out to be, it's still an amazing school, but it's just a good example to see how the progress, like you have to be super flexible with the progress, because like I feel like it's very hard to really, that piece stuff really works out as you thought it would be at the beginning. So yeah, so this is the school right now. So it's like, it's not completely finished, but it's like the main building is standing, and now like electricity and everything is in there, I think, and that like it's not so long to go anymore until it's like completely done. And we're very, very happy about that. But what's the funny thing is that at the beginning, we thought that the school would be like we worked with a Berlin architecture company, like a really like amazing people, and they designed the school completely sustainable with like materials that are sustainable. But then this was like, yeah, it didn't work out because it was like cultural differences about that, and which is like very important, I think, to see that, yeah, like that this is like, yeah, it's not what we think it would be cool or like sustainable. It's like what do the people actually want there, and what is actually important for them to have. So for them it was important to have like proper walls and like very good building. And we thought about, yeah, why don't we do sustainable mud walls, and like this could be amazing and super sustainable. Yeah, didn't turn out to be like that, but it's still got an amazing school. It still turned out to be an amazing school. And it was a lot of challenges in that time because due to the places we bought, the things we thought it would look like, the structure of the house, we already had like a complete property for the house. And then when Christian and Caroline went there, for example, they like the property was just not the same anymore, and they like started to work on another property. And so we're like, oh, okay, this is like very new, and we gotta see what we're gonna do now. But so yeah, that saying, I just wanna emphasize that I think it's very important to stay very flexible, and in communication is a very, very important point in that, to just like communicate super clear everything, and to communicate all the steps with each other, and to be always online with each other. Yeah. So that's the school right now. That's the pretty recent, that are pretty recent pictures. It's just a school for now. There's maybe the chance for later to build also like places to stay for the people, the children. But yeah, for now it's a school, and we're super happy that the Sadashis and everybody there like worked so hard, and that we actually made a progress. Yeah. And then we got Spada. This is like one of the first projects in India that Caro was like looking on and taking care of. And then this is like a house where like 150 women and children are living, and they come from different backgrounds. So there are some who have medical problems. There are some who have worked in the sexual sector and had to go out there. There are older women, for example, who their husbands died, and then this is in India, for example, like a reason to not being like very well seen in society anymore. So their women and children are taken care of in a house, and they also have the possibilities to work there, or like to get education, school, medical help, and all of that. Christian, were you there?
Yes, I was there. I mean, it's not much to say. It's a really nice project because it works really, really nice. We have there couple of sisters from a Catholic Dutch, how to say in English, I don't know, but they they really care about the children. And what I like is that the Catholic part is not so present. I mean, they are nurses or sisters, but yeah, it's not though so so present in the everyday life. And yeah, so it's really nice to see how they care about the children, and it really looks like the children are very happy there. And yeah, it's I think the yeah, one of the best projects we have in the area of supporting.
Yeah, that's amazing. Also, Caro just like before told me that Nandini, one of the women in Spada, was like, she's one of a really nice example, just because like she went to school there, she got like a nurse, and she's like self-sustained now and like standing on her own legs and like being very happy about that. So this is, as Christian already said, is like really nice to see because it's working out so well. Yeah, then we have more projects in Gonzo and Trichy. So in Gonzo we have the village project, and that is a very special one as well, because it takes care of children that don't have parents anymore. So they get like food and school and medical help and education. And also, if some of the children that don't have parents anymore but can live with the relatives, they also get support from that house as well. And then it's also a special project because it's also a women empowering project. So all the women, it's like a couple of villages and projects that are working together there. And every project has a woman as a caretaker or like as an organizational leader. And then that woman is also like under the woman, yeah, like another woman from the ministry. I don't know the English name by heart now. So this is also really cool because yeah, it's like really empowering women to be in like higher position and to have like a leading position. Then we have the school project in the slums of Trichy, which is because the children there, they have to go work during the day, which is also nothing that we can change. It's just like the cultural or like the normal thing there. But then what we thought we could do is like we could like support school in the afternoon. So you can kind of try to break the circle. You're like, yeah, so as they learn reading and math and everything in the afternoon, we hope that is like their base for like a higher education at the end, and then their children might have don't have to go there anymore because they got such an education that they have jobs where they can afford something else. So that's a trial to like break the circle of children work there. And then we have the JMJ orphanage. It's like it's called the Different Abled Home. And this is like it's like an orphanage for children with disabilities and without disabilities. And it's mainly it's girls and women, and it's in a very poor area, so there's a lot of help needed. And then that was all about India. Christian, one last sentence about your experiences when we close India. You're okay. Oh, good. Then we get Kenya. We get another project in Kenya, in Iruma actually. So there was Benedict, like a teacher who took care of boys that were not having parents anymore and they didn't know where to live and what to do anymore. So he took care of them and took them in their house and gave them a place to sleep and food and everything. And then Menschen started to support the project, and then with that we actually decided to build a house for the boys, and that's what you can see on the picture right there. It's a dream dancer home. It is a building for sleeping, studying. We have a garden, so it's like a real home for everything what you kind of need and where you go during the day. So Menschen there supports like the education, but also the food and the housing and the stay. And then the building was like a kind of challenging process. It was Caro who went there actually to build the house with everybody. and it like took longer and longer and longer than we expected. It got like way more expensive than we expected. It's like everything during the progress always changed, and that's what I already said earlier. It's like you have to stay super flexible and like see, like you're trying to make a plan, and I feel like half of it will not work out anyways, but at the end somehow it always gets to an amazing result. And yeah, thanks to the boys in Caro as well. They were like working super hard there for a long time. I think it was like 19 weeks just on the construction site. And yeah, you can see her in the right picture as well. And yeah, today we have like a really nice home there with, and then later on with some Christmas donation projects, we collected all the furniture and cows and garden things that they needed. So it's like a really nice home now where they can stay and like live. And then also some of them already grow so much older that they already go to university right now, we do support them on their studies, which is another really nice benefit from all of that. Yeah, and so I was like thinking about how do we do all of that? So in my perspective is like, first of all, have amazing project partners and sponsor partners and kids. So for me, like the work with the project partners in India or in Kenya is like the most important part, and like to have like really good communication, to listen to everything they need, and like to find a balance in like how can we make this happen. And and don't, as what happens often with like modern, or like what has happened a lot or still happens with development organizations, is that they just put like their Western beliefs or like imaginations, perceptions on that country, and then try to make it happen, which like has failed a lot, what we can see in past things. And so that is like one of the main, like for me, just one of the main super important points, like listen what they really need, like how can we just support that and like use the resources we have here to make it happen, and then but still on a very balanced, really friendly level. And then second of all, it's very good to have a good team back home. Luckily we get a cool team, and we also have an amazing team from students that I mentioned at the beginning, which is still doing like not parties at the moment, but like donation online streams, or work like cooking evenings, flea markets, everything to collect money as well. So yeah, we got an amazing team here. We got a great team in our projects. There is always a lot of challenges. Like I would say it's not easy at all, but it's definitely worth it for most of it, and for every I would say for every child that has like a great education at the end because of that, is definitely worth it. And so I'm gonna close. Believe in your vision and be flexible. And I'm gonna close with the quote that is like very impressive, or like stands for our group as well, and for our project. It's like, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, is the only thing that ever has. Thank you for listening.